Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm actually gonna shut something off over here. That's better. Well, a couple days before Christmas, I'm busting out some nitrile gloves. Hope you guys are well. I just thought I'd jump on. It's been a little while since we did a live here. Used to do them more. I've been traveling a lot. And double tap. I guess Merry Christmas to you as well. It's an interesting space here. I put a post up yesterday, and in that post, I showed a picture of a log that had a projectile stuck in it. I'm doing a little gun maintenance as I'm talking with you. And when I split that wood and stacked it, I did it. I put it there. I knew, because I sawed that wood up too, I knew there was no projectile stuck in it. Not a big deal. When I brought it in to burn it and saw that, pretty obvious looking at sticking out the end of the wood, I thought, this is a good opportunity to talk about the responsibility of knowing your target and what's beyond it. And then I see stupid comments talking about FUD stuff. And it made me chuckle. I'm thinking, who are these people? First of all, the whole word FUD makes me laugh. The part that's comical to me is I've spent the better part of the last decade fighting for firearm rights. So if some little punk in his mommy's basement or wherever he lives, some little punk probably living off the teat of the populace wants to call me a FUD, that's cool. It doesn't bother me in the least. But do know, young punk, we've spent years to help get some of the laws that we have passed. That said, I'm not going to waste time on the trivial nonsense of such drivel. So let's chat a little bit. What the heck's been going on with everybody? I'm looking at a lot of different talk about politics. We can chat about that a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of different talk about the impending doom of the world. I'm looking at a lot of unknowns, right? So one of the great unknowns is that we don't know everything and never will. And if we just come to the acceptance of that, change what we can and rock on, we'll probably be in a lot better shape, you know? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Interesting to me, something I've talked about a lot in the past, how, especially this space, we get so tribal, like yesterday I was interviewing Mike Darter. I don't think the world's gone crazy, James Crespin. Let's talk about that before I talk about Mike Darter. If we study history, one of the reasons that I'm an avid amateur history studier is we learn all this stuff is pretty normal. Normal does not mean acceptable, but normal means it's been done. And I'm not one of those guys that's going to quote the Bible and say there's nothing new under the sun. There's a lot of new stuff. When I was a kid, we couldn't do video feeds like this and just chat with people. Didn't exist. This is new. So there are some things that are indeed new. But the way we humans interact, the way we get tribal, the way that we vie and fight and scratch to try to get ahead and get what we've got, that's no different than sheep herders 1,000 years ago, right? It's very easy to get fixated on the little things that we think are important and really easy to overlook a lot of other things. What kind of other things? Oh, I don't know, like living. Something that comes up often in my life because of my own experience, is this notion that we can do nothing to affect change in the world around us, that government's all a conspiracy and it's all set up. Revolver platform. Do you see any resurgence? Sure. I mean, I never went away from them. That's something a group of guys and I were talking about this morning. So there's a group of instructors that I put together, like in a private message thread. Bunch of good guys like Steve Fisher and other dudes, some coppers, some military guys, some dudes like me that are just dick joke aficionados. And we talk about that stuff all the time. Like right now, everybody's talking about CQB and shooting on the move. Well, none of that stuff's new. Some of the techniques might be different, but you don't think that soldiers hundreds of years ago were doing techniques to not get shot at? Plains Indians, you think they were using cover and concealment as they attacked a warring tribe? It's, of course, things are new, but revolvers have always been great. I think the advent of these platforms has made the rapid change get worse in the sense of how it happens faster and faster, where it used to take years for magazines and police departments and things like that to spread trends. Now it can happen pretty quick because people watch YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and they start to see stuff. I've been shooting single actions and double actions for years, like my Berettas, and people used to laugh at me. Now everybody's like, ooh, can you get me a discount code? You know, it's kind of funny. Deborah, I don't know what you're asking me. If it jams, I don't know what that means, but I would call the manufacturer. Hey, West Palm Beach. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not scrolling with my dirty hands to read messages that I've missed, but I appreciate you guys. Yeah, you know, so we have these like talking about Mike Darter a moment ago. So Mike is the founder of CCW Safe, and I share a lot about them because I believe in the product. If you don't like the product, cool, you don't like the product. But what's funny is people get like viscerally angry. Like I like this concealed carry product. USCCA or whatever. Cool, do that. It's like, you know, I drive Ford trucks. If you're a Chevy or a Dodge or a Toyota or a Nissan guy, that's cool. You're not making my truck payment and I don't have to like what you like. We are tribalistic creatures. We've done it for all of time, except we don't have to stay like cavemen. Elevate yourself. Be more intelligent about it. And think to myself or to yourself, why would I be getting angry or upset about gun cleaning? Look at the videos that I've got up about gun cleaning, and you see people lose their brains about how I suggest to clean a gun. I fire 10, 20, 30, 40,000 rounds a year, depending on the year. And it's not made up. I know that because I know what Supervel provides me. And if you've ever been to a class with us, you see me shooting. So even in classes, I'm running guns. That doesn't mean I know something, but I've cleaned my guns the same way. I shoot a ton. I see the result. So that is a data point that I can go off of. And if you don't like it, or if you've got a different experience, that's cool. Back to that log. Let me see if I still have that. Stand by. Did I burn it? I guess I might have burnt it, tossed it. So the log, you can see the video, I shared it in a short here, had a .223 bullet stuck in the end of it, just the projectile. People commented, fake, FUD post for views. Not only was it not fake, I know how the bullet got there because I fired the bullet. All of these people commenting about things that if it would have hit, it would have been deformed. Well, clearly you're talking out your ass, because if you don't understand internal, external terminal ballistics, beyond video games or beyond shooting at 10 yards, then you don't know what you're talking about. And that's cool because you don't know if you don't know and you don't know what you don't know. But food for thought on that. What happens to a projectile as it travels farther and farther out in space? It loses energy, right? Loses energy. And as it loses energy, that energy that's required to deform the bullet dissipates. So, there's really no mystery there. But we immediately attach preconceived ideas and notions because we think of a bullet maybe at 10 yards, 20 yards, striking something, and that causing deformation. Well, instead, if we saw it without deformation, rather than thinking that's fake, we could also infer or include in our judgment process what else may have happened, right? What else could have happened? And all that being said, rather than getting angry and calling somebody a liar, calling me a FUD doesn't really bother me. I am getting older. I'm a grandpa. I've got gray hair. But I tell you what, meet me on the range, meet me on the wrestling mats, meet me on the sparring mat, meet me in the woods and show this old gray-haired man what a big tough guy you are. Show me all you know. Show me. In fact, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's been a while. I'll pay for your airline ticket. I will send an Uber to the airport to pick you up, or I'll cover your Uber expense. And you can come meet me at the range and we'll shoot guns together and you can teach me. Then, good morning from Sycamore. Then, in addition to that, let's scrap a little bit. We can put the gloves on. We can wrestle around like men, and we'll just, we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll learn something. That would be cool. Let's do that. So, it's kind of a discussion here on like what's really important to you. Do you want to be right? Do you want to win a discussion? Do you want to hear and feel your little ego get puffed up and that you know something that somebody else doesn't? If that's what you're after, cool. But as my uncle used to say, attaboy, don't pay the bills. Attaboy, don't pay the bills. Yeah, catch a flight. So take it easy. I don't know what take it easy. You take it easy, pal. You take it easy. You're great the way you are. So where am I going? The same thing that you guys probably hear me always say. What's your goal? Why are you doing any of this? Why are you spending your time on a work day watching some dude clean guns and BS with you? Why do you train with guns? Why do you train any of the things that we're training? Well, I'm assuming it's because you want to win in violence. I'm assuming it's because you don't want to get your ass beat by a bad guy and lose this precious life of yours. Would you say that that's correct? Would you say that that's probably right? Okay, well, what's precious about it? What do you like about it? Do you like being filled with anxiety, anger, angst, aggravation? Does that sound fun? Probably not. Those things probably are not fun to you. Well, then why do we engage in it? Why do we allow ourselves to get mired in these poopy conversations with meatheads? Yeah, nobody gonna come try. Guys that want to argue about those things, be my guest. Go do it. Have at it. And then that's the use of your life, the totality of your life. That's the totality of your existence. That's the totality of your life. So when you're gone and your grandkids or whoever's thinking about you, man, my grandpa was such a useful human. He spent his life, right? Here's the eulogy. My grandpa spent his life arguing with strangers on the internet because it made my grandpa feel better to know that he was able to write stupid shit on the internet and insult strangers, and it made him feel like he was more of a man. Isn't that cool? Doesn't that seem like a good eulogy? You know, here lies my grandfather. He was such a lovely dude, such a lovely dude. And now my grandfather is dead. But I want you guys to know that my grandpa worked really hard at at arguing with strangers. My grandpa worked really hard at being a dickhead. Isn't and we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss my dickhead grandpa. I mean, who the heck would want that for their eulogy, right? It's such a waste of life. And then if you don't engage with people, well, then that makes you uh, you know, stupid or whatever. I don't know. I'm off of it. I'm off of it. At the end of the day, you and only you have to sleep with yourself. You have to lay down and listen. Hey, you got a new gunfire hoodie today? Badass, Scott. How are you, buddy? How have you maintained physical fitness? Yeah, I mean, you're not going to recover as well. I think I'm not a doctor. Genetics play a role, but what choices are we making? Probably one of the number one things is food. Uh, to me, I'm very grateful to my mother. My mom hated and hates, my mom's still very much alive and well, hated and hates junk food. If you're wondering why I'm kind of like just doing a weird cleaning job here right now, I'm just taking a wire brush and knocking uh, big chunks of carbon. This carbine has been shot to hell, and I'm just kind of doing a quick wipe down on it and knocking off the good chunky bits because I need to shoot something later with it. So if you're like, what the hell is he doing? I'm just kind of looking for chunks. So my mom did a great job of instilling in us a desire to not eat crap. And like for me, it's not a struggle to pass up a soda. It's not like, oh man, I got to stop drinking soda. That's not a struggle for me. I have zero interest in drinking soda. I'm just using an example. Or candy. I don't care about candy. I like a nice dessert, something that's nice, but for me, food, I enjoy it, and I would say I have a healthy relationship with food. I think that's probably where most of us can improve is what we're putting in ourselves. And exercise, what's your goal with exercise? You know, if you're getting so sore and beat up that recovery is hard, maybe you need to change the way that you're working out. Maybe you need to change your rest habits or the cycle of exercise. I personally, I'm not a fitness guru, but I think there's a lot of people that overcomplicate the stuff. For example, all this firewood that we've been talking about, I cut that tree down. I moved that tree. I split that tree. I stacked that wood. That's just right natural movements of life. Yes, that's a radian. Oh, you can take your comments off of here now, huh? I like that, Juan Gomez. Yes, I still use CCW Safe. There's a link right on the homepage of carrytrainer.com. That's the only company I recommend, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But back to the fitness question or comment. As we age, clearly we're not going to be healing the same. You know, testosterone levels, things like that change. So what's one of the big things? Sleep. I feel like I'm not much of a bandwagoner. Early on, somebody asked about revolvers. I've been carrying and shooting revolvers my whole life because I like them. The idea that you have to have a 21 round compensated pistol with a weapon mounted light on it and an inside the waistband holster with 3 backup mags, that might be what's cool for you, but the reality is if we're planning for every or any contingency, then we all should be, you know, driving around with a medical doctor with us and a fireman and all kinds of stuff. Train in a way that keeps your body as fit as possible. And sleep, that's where I was going with that. It became really sexy for a long time, something I never adopted, this notion of Sleep's bullshit. Sleep when you're dead. Blah, blah, blah. Frog Lord. Frog Lord, I've done a ton of videos on the P365. It's a great little gun. I think something people forget about those little guns, they're not training guns, meaning I broke 4 of them at our S12 class. We had 2 of them break within about 10 minutes. Some of that's maintenance. One of them only had about 20 rounds through it. I'm not going to go deep into it because it doesn't matter. Those are concealed carry micro pistols. That's like using your minivan as a work truck. You're going to break it. They're not meant for that. They are meant for a specific thing, which is to have a deeply concealed pistol that carries a decent amount of ammo and you can do decent work with it. Not a big deal. Great little guns. Back to the big point here of health and wellness. Make better choices in what we eat, how we sleep. Mental and physical laziness is a big deal too. Choices though, people blame that on like the powers that be. I don't have TikTok on my phone. I'm not anti-TikTok, but I am, by the way, Gunfighter Gun Oil. This is one of our big combo packs with the cleaner, multiple bottles of lube, and the needle bottle. Even that we buy from a USA made company. I'm kind of, that's important to me that we do that. Back to the comment though. Our health, the state of the US, all those kinds of things, very personal decisions. Even if the whole world is falling apart, do you have to eat shit? Even if the whole world is falling apart, do you have to not sleep? Even if the whole world is falling apart, should you not be stretching, doing some calisthenics, breathing, doing breath work? I've said it a few times. I feel like I'm ahead of the curve in a lot of things. Our S12 event has been copied now by a lot of people. They're not doing the same thing. They're trying, but they're not going to because they don't want to put the same amount of work in. What do we do at that event? We're serving people high quality food. We're talking about health and wellness. We're talking about breath work to reduce anxiety and stress. We're talking about physical fitness. We're talking about combatives and actual real martial arts training. And we are talking about understanding how to use your gun in a real and meaningful way, rather than just playing with it on the range. We get sidetracked, and what's a better way of saying that? We get diminished, where we're constantly allowing our attention to be parsed into a million different places for a million different things, and that's our choice, right? We're doing that. That's our choice. We're allowing our mind to be run in all these different directions, our attention to be run in all these different directions. We're so busy, but in reality, we have plenty of time to work out. We have plenty of times to do different things if we get off these damn devices. We talk about things like government. All right, what are we doing on a local level to affect change in our government? A lot of people are really quick to tell me that it's all rigged, and you can tell that to a lot of people. I don't know everything about everything. If you want to talk to me about football, I don't know a lot about football. If you want to talk to me about Toyota frickin' engines, I don't know a lot about Toyota engines. If you want to talk to me about how to get involved in politics and change a political race or get somebody elected, I can talk to you about that. I will sit down with the brightest minds in the world, not comparing myself to the brightest minds in the world, and I can be engaged in that conversation. Why? Because I spent years doing it. That's not braggadocious. I'm saying on that, I know something. And guys get really quick to try to dismiss and act like everything's set up a certain way and they have no control over it. Well, what they're really saying is they're fat and lazy and that they are not willing to put in the required work. Just like when you look at somebody that's really good shooter, for the most part, everybody I know that's a great shooter, none of them have any amazing physical attributes. A couple of them have really good vision, but for the most part, they don't have any amazing attributes. In fact, some of them are downright dorky. Some of them are downright dorky dudes. But what they do have is tenacity to keep doing the thing that they're chasing. They have tenacity to keep improving. I got a couple friends that are world-class shooters. They're not super physical. They're not super fit, which isn't a dig on them. But some of those things are it's very easy to get cop-outs. It's very easy. I'm going to get rid of these gloves. My hands are sweaty. It's really easy to buy into bullshit and make excuses for our inadequacies, be it helping change laws, be it becoming a better shooter, becoming more fit. Those are all choices. Well, you don't understand. I don't understand what? Your vast ability to make excuses, because that's what we're doing if we just keep coming up with reasons for things not to work. S12 training, I rate number 1, mind, body, soul, and best live fire training. How many slices of pizza do you eat per day? So I eat pizza, but the pizza I choose to eat is really, really good pizza. Like I have friends, Giles owns Blue Pan Pizza in Denver, top rated spot, high quality stuff. I got a buddy near Philly. He's got a place that's called Rabanisi Pizzeria. This is high quality stuff made with high quality ingredients. So sure, I'll eat some pizza. I eat bread almost every day. The bread I eat is homemade, made with very good flour, very good ingredients, and injected with love. Good day to you, sir. My thoughts for the day before I go run this gun and film a video. Life is short. This past week, we lost a family member in her 90s. Her husband, amazing man, fought at the Battle of the Bulge. Died a couple years ago. They were married 69 years. So they were together over 70 years. Life goes by. Even if you live to be a long-lived person like that, enjoy your life. So try to, I want nothing to do with needless controversy. Do I have daily routines? I do. Hello, Germany. Hello. I have a lot of daily routines. I like to wake up in the morning and say aloud to whatever gods may be, thank you for this day. That may irritate some people. Well, here's one thing I know about God. There is no human being ever alive that knows everything about what is when we're not here. People like to think they do. And those that think they do and think that they know more than anybody else haven't left and come back. So let's take it easy on that stuff too. So I have a routine of trying to be grateful, of focusing myself into a state of gratitude, which I think is helpful. I like to stay off this phone as much as possible. These apps, these things are, all of these apps and feeds are completely meant to capture your attention so that you can buy gunfighter gun oil or watch ads on YouTube, because then Google makes more money, right? Nothing wrong with that, but I don't want to use the word balance, but that becomes the totality of your life. Do you think it's relevant to take a class with a pocket single stack if you use only a couple months a year? I think that it's important to train with whatever the hell you want to train with. Just found you about 6 minutes ago. Well, I like that you found me. Hey, Peter. My name's Mickey, not Mitch, but I appreciate that, Pete. Broken Fusion boy. Weird. I know who you are. Yeah, the totality of our existence is the sum of our choices. So the totality of our life is the sum of our choices. Last week we stopped at Antietam, the battlefield that to this day is the single most bloody day in U.S. history. I believe over 22,000 casualties in a single day. 22,000. At one point, it was over a man a second dying. A man a second dying. All those guys had hopes and dreams. All of those guys that died happened to be born at a time where the world exploded and burst into flames, the Civil War. I appreciate that, Luke. That's very kind of you. The amount of lives lost in the pursuit of liberty, the amount of lives lost in the protection of the Republic ought to be remembered daily. And I think that's why I talk about our history so often, because without it, we wouldn't be here. It's also why I get keyed in when I hear punks saying stupid shit. Call me a FUD, I don't care. But the Republic doesn't stand because you joined the army. The Republic doesn't stand because your grandpa went to war. The Republic doesn't stand because you voted. The Republic doesn't stand because of what Abraham Lincoln or Thomas Jefferson did. The Republic doesn't stand because you pay your taxes. The Republic doesn't stand because of any of those things. It stands because of all of those things. And we, as of late, have lost this idea of what our part is in this republic. What do I do if I visit Europe? No gun. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's just like if I travel to another town by airplane and I don't have my truck. Figure it out, right? Or it's like if you're in a rental house and you don't have access to your kitchen and you've got to use some crappy stuff at a rental house. It's a tool. If you have, you have. The other day I helped a girl on the side of the road and I was in my new truck and I had not yet transferred my toolbox over to it. I just got a little toolbox with some, mechanics tools, and her car died. Well, pop the hood, super easy. Realized that she had a bad alternator and the battery cable had fallen off. Very simple fix, except I had no tools. This car was a piece of shit. And so we're on the side of the road and her car won't start. So I look around and I happen to find a twisted up piece of metal. It actually looked like one of the springs that come out of like a clamp like this, like it was a chunk of metal like this. So I picked up a rock and I pounded a piece of that spring into the battery terminal and it made it tight and she could drive home, right? It would have been a lot cooler if I had pliers or a wrench or a socket set or even a multi-tool, which I didn't have in the truck. The truck was brand new, just left the dealership with it. I didn't have any of my stuff in it. But instead you make do. So you don't have your stuff, you make do, right? My buddy Joel Gupton, who's deceased and a wonderful human, always liked to say your greatest resource is resourcefulness. And that's a good thing. You making that? Oh yeah, Carry Trainer eggnog. Yeah, we're not selling Carry Trainer eggnog, but you're more than welcome to make it and enjoy it. Cool, man. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I think back to that discussion on daily habits, your habits or rituals should support, quite simply, the outcome that you want. I've been injured this year since like middle of the summer. So like the muscle in this arm freaking disappeared because I couldn't use the arm. So now I'm trying to very thoughtfully do exercises to rebuild the tricep in this arm. It's been really aggravating. And instead of getting annoyed about it, talking to my friends that know more than me, doctors, physical therapists, etc., and asking for help, and then applying action. So a ritual that I try to employ daily is identifying what I want to do in the day. Before I go to bed, I have a notebook upstairs and I'll write down just high level stuff. One of the things I said was put this back to finish cleaning this, put it back together. So I stopped to do it because I need it done. So I try to line out the things I want to do. The health stuff is paramount. We put that stuff off. Training, gym, eating right, sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'll exercise later. By the time the damage is done to your body, it's done. Trying to reverse some of those things is almost too much. So take care of yourself, love yourself. Remember, all this training stuff is because we want to keep this physical being alive as long as possible, not in a selfish way, but because it's pretty cool to be alive. And if we do that, I appreciate that. Maybe Joe should be on the Higher Line podcast. That'd be all right. If we truly are interested in protecting ourselves, then why are we not protecting our brain, our spirit, our heart, our soul, whatever you want to call it, and our physical body? You know, I ate ice cream a couple times this past week. I drink beer. I'm not suggesting go become some monk and just eat a bowl of rice and beans. Take care of yourself, right? You hear so many people, and so some of us, not me, but some of us have high blood pressure. We've got blood sugar issues. We've got weight issues. We've got all these different things, which it's sometimes genetic, but a lot of times it's self-inflicted. Keep yourself fit, keep yourself well, keep your guns lubed up with gunfighter gun oil. Hey, and I've been talking about this quite a bit lately. Ignis Lux coffee. This is our brand. I'm actually personally roasting this. It's become like a very zen hobby for me, but this is like the next thing for us. It's a different brand, but I'm promoting it here. Ignis Lux means firelight in Latin. And we use a great bean. We use a bean sourced from a very, what's the word I'm looking for? A mindful grower that takes care of the product, takes care of the land. And then we roast it with a product that uses fluid bed roasting. So it's hot air instead of flames of natural gas blowing through the beans. So it preserves as much of the healthy stuff. So that's been cool. We've been working on that. I've really enjoyed that. If you're interested in trying some delicious whole bean coffee, ignislux.com, Ignis Lux, which is Latin for firelight. I'm just reading some comments as you guys are putting them up. Cool, man. I appreciate that 13th Apostle. Yeah, the grease is good stuff. Probably one of my favorite ways to lube up my stuff. That was my comments for the morning. If you guys have questions, you know how to find me. Shoot us a message to training@carrytrainer.com. If you put stuff up in these comment sections, I see them, but not as easily as I see an email. So if you need something legitimately, shoot us a message to training@carrytrainer.com. We've got some great classes coming up. The next S12 event is in 2024 in November, and it's more than half full already. So it's 10 months away, and it's more than half full already. And there is a $500 discount that goes away at Christmas. $500 discount on S12 that goes away at Christmas. And then we have a guns in grappling class my coach Dan Hart and I are doing in Las Vegas, which is going to be fantastic coming up. That class is 3/4 full. That's going to be a good one. Check that out. and then all of our other classes are up too. Wim Hof. So Frog, I actually work with a guy that really pioneered a lot of that stuff. Wim's got his own thing, but there are other people that have been doing that as long or longer than Wim. Wim kind of is more well known than some of them because of marketing. But check out Brian McKenzie and check out Rob Wilson. Both of them have a lot of published literature on these subjects. I think some of that stuff is horse shit, but I also think some of the people that are really deep into that stuff are also deep into some psychedelics. And I'm not being judgmental, but there's some stuff that goes along with some of that stuff that's not really science based at all. Some of it is, some of it isn't. Yeah. Wim's kid is a great marketer. I don't know him, but Brian McKenzie and Rob Wilson both are part of the S12 teaching cadre, are guys that teach there. So we do have an ice bath at our gym, which I use from time to time. I sauna almost daily when I'm not on the road. Got a sauna at home, got a sauna at the gym, not infrared, a real hot sauna, like 200 degrees sauna for 20, 30 minutes at a crack. But when you do all those things, just think about this. That is more stress on your body. So you need rest to accompany those things. When you sit in a sauna for an hour, you are taxing the crap out of your body. You now need rest to help recuperate. So tons of stuff you can read on that from people way smarter than me. You guys, I hope that you're well. If I don't talk to you before Christmas, be well. Don't be dickheads. Tell somebody you love them. Get some Gunfighter gun oil, cleaner, grease. Get some Ignis Lux coffee. If Wim's kid's a marketer, then so am I. Don't fall into people's traps of wasting your life arguing about nonsensical bullshit, but instead chase the things that matter to you most, which is most likely being happy, healthy, and well. It's up to you to do that. Nobody else. Nobody owes you shit in this life. Nobody owes you shit. Go out and get the things you want. Love you. Be well. Don't be dickheads. Peace.